Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad. We're previewing all 32 teams in the preseason as we get ready for another great NFL season. We're talking about the defending NFC North Champions, the Detroit Lions, led by veteran quarterback Jared Goff and the offense, a very good offense that led to a very strong regular season. We all know what happened in the playoffs against Washington. It was a bit of a struggle, to say the least. A very banged up team by that point in the year. We know they were down several defensive starters. So, what can they learn from the great year they had last year to help take the next step? We're very big on this offense. Jared Goff, a leader, he's led them to obviously the division championship. He's had a playoff run with the Rams several years ago before the trade, obviously, where he got to the Super Bowl. So it seems he's the guy for the moment in Detroit. They needed a quarterback that can get them to a big spot, and to this point, he's done that. So just can they take the next step? And he's got a very good group to do it. What's your take on Jared Goff, real quick?
Yeah, first of all, really good takes on Jared Goff. Not only statistically is Jared Goff one of the more upper tier elite premier quarterbacks in the league, former first rounder, first overall pick out of Cal. Yeah, and obviously, the trade itself between him and Stafford is still talked about to this day. But Jared Goff to me, if anybody has watched Quarterback Season 2 on Netflix, Jared Goff to me is just a really standout guy with a really humble attitude. He is a tremendous leader. Um, Always looking out for his teammates. Definitely a team first mentality attitude. So, he takes every bit of responsibility and leadership in wanting to get this thing back on track again this season because they know what they're capable of. I mean, this was a team that almost went to the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. I mean, even last season, and then you kind of had that collapse in that playoff game. So, he's going to do everything he can to lead his team back to that path. And as far as his on-field abilities, I really love how he's a tremendous pocket passer. At this stage in his career, he's definitely learned like a level of calmness to where he can stay poised in the pocket. He can make confident throws. He can, find, he can find his weapons and his targets whenever he needs to, really. And he's just he's not afraid of moments. He's not afraid of having to rise up to a big moment. So he's got a lot better about that. And biggest question
Yeah,
now for me with
certainly.
Jared Goff is can that formulate into the playoffs?
Yeah, certainly. He certainly has a very good group around him to help him get to where he needs to get. The running back room, one of the best in the leagues, with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, even Craig Reynolds, the third string. But I'd say, in my opinion, personally, Gibbs and Montgomery, they're the best 1-2 punch in the league in terms of a running back room. I mean, they both have very good strengths. Gibbs, he is a high level dual threat running back, can make plays on the ground in the passing game, run some routes. I mean, he's a weapon. They drafted him in the top 12 several years ago. And it was not a mistake to do that. That was a very good pick, and it's proved worthwhile. And of course, David Montgomery, more of a veteran presence, questionable college choice, but very high level running back that can lead a running back room. So I think that's a big strength to have that to guide them.
Yeah, this running back room to me is, in my opinion, the best, most versatile running back. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. The thing about it is that either one of them could carry a running back room on almost any other team in the league. Like
Yeah.
they're both of them are RB1 level running backs.
Mhm.
Like they both should be the RB1, but I mean they're both just so good to where you have two high level running backs out there that you literally utilize at any given moment. You can split the carries between these two. If one of them is out, what you really like about is if one of them is hurt, then the other one is going to step in and tremendously still fill that RB1 role. So you really like to see that. They can count on each other. They can rely on each other, and they're going to need to keep doing that to support what Jared Goff is trying to lead within this offense this year.
Certainly, yes. And one they also have a very high level receiver room, obviously. Amon-Ra, a borderline top five, in my opinion, receiver in the league, one of the best slot receivers. He's always the kind of guy, he can get open, he can make contested catches, he can make plays with the ball in his hands. I mean, just a threat from anywhere on the field. Of course, you have Jamison Williams, the number two receiver. He is a downfield threat. He's not like the same as St. Brown, as he's not going to make all the contested catches, but if he can run by you, you're not going to catch him. I mean, he's one of the best downfield threats in the league. And Will, I'll give you a chance to speak on Tim Patrick, their wide receiver 3.
Yeah, Tim Patrick to me. Tim Patrick to me is um, obviously former Bronco and everything. Um, More than anything, you love his resilient comeback story that he's made in the league. Having to overcome 2 ACL injuries, both that happened before the season had started. So, which he missed 2 entire seasons of football. And even last season, he was with the Broncos, got cut in their preseason. Detroit graciously picked him up, gave him a chance, and now here he is in Detroit with a whole new chance and fresh start to his NFL career, and it's just a really beautiful story to see for Tim Patrick.
Yes, definitely a beautiful story. I also do want to mention, I personally am very high on Isaac Tesla, their third round draft pick out of Arkansas, the receiver there. I think he's has a lot of potential, and if there happens to be a time where he's called upon, I think that's a rookie they can rely on. So last note
Yeah,
there on the receiver room.
yeah. So what Detroit did in this draft, it was a very interesting draft, but you go out here and you add a very what I feel like is a quality receiver, 2 quality receivers out of Arkansas and Georgia, Dominic Lovett as well. You go ahead and add to one of your strengths already, which is that wide receiver room. So now,
Yeah.
can Amon-Ra, Tim Patrick, guys like that, can they mentor these rookies to keep developing one of their biggest strengths, which is this receiving
Yeah.
core?
Yeah, and we haven't even got to another key target on the offense, Sam Laporta, the tight end. He's certainly a high level tight end, had the incredible rookie season, not quite as statistically dominant his second year, but for the third year now, tight end out of Iowa, I think Sam Laporta is primed to have another great year. I mean, they just have so many options on this offense.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so fun to literally watch. Not only watch, but if you're a Madden player, play with them in Madden. They're just that kind of they're just that kind of a team. Where they just have so many dynamics to them. They're just a fun team to watch. They're a very aesthetic football team, and I mean, even
Mhm.
with just like dynamic guy like Sam Laporta, even to go out there and do all the things that he does, and I would easily rank Sam Laporta in the top 10 amongst tight ends in the league, and I certainly think Sam Laporta, in given time, is on his way to a Hall of Fame tight end career in the NFL. He certainly has all the talent and possibilities for it.
Yeah, I think top 10, borderline top 5, even. I'm big on Laporta, obviously. And the offensive line also a very high level, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely one of the best offensive lines in the league. There's um, absolutely no question doubt about that. I mean, No, obviously, I mean, it was a little bit better a couple of years ago, but this year, going into this year, PFF does have the Detroit offensive line ranked number 13th. Um, they Frank Ragnow did retire, and Kevin Zeitler they also lost in free agency, so they're going to be looking for Christian Mahogany, the sixth round pick. He'll be at the guard. He'll be at the guard spot there, and obviously Penei Sewell is still one of the best offensive linemen in the league. Penei Sewell is going to still have to go out there and do his thing, Tad.
Yeah, in my opinion, he is. You could make a strong argument that he's the best player on their offense, that he is the best tackle in the league. I mean, just another home run pick. I mean, the drafting for Detroit on offense has been incredible the last several years. I mean, and now, I mean, we're going to see how Tate Ratledge, the right guard that they drafted in the second round out of Georgia, we're going to see how that goes. He's currently slated to start. So just we're another one that they'll have a chance to get right. We'll see how that goes. I'm big on this offensive line. I'd probably say they're top 10. I think that's a bit underrating them.
I mean, 10th year veteran Eric Decker, or I mean, sorry, Taylor Decker out of Ohio State. He finally made his first Pro Bowl last year, so I mean, he's even. I mean, you still have a veteran there at that left tackle spot. That's big for Jared Goff. Let's not undermine that for sure. Obviously, hey, Frank Ragnow. You really did hate to see him go, but Mahogany to me probably the biggest thing to watch out for, the biggest X factor on this offensive line probably will be Mahogany at that left guard spot. Tag.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how some of the younger players work in there. The
Um,
defense.
but
Sorry,
really
you
quick,
wanted one more take.
I did want to give quick takes on Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. First of all, Amon-Ra St. Brown. One of the more just I mean, just he's so exciting to watch. His work ethic, his attitude, his effort. Um, just an incredibly insane player. Um, I would, yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown is. I mean, you talk about Penei Sewell, you talk about Jameer Gibbs and everything, but I mean, Amon-Ra is right up there. And then Jamison Williams, obviously the speedster, a tremendous route runner. You can obviously get him involved in the jet sweep game very well too. You can involve him in the running game, bubble screen action, stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of Jamison Williams there as well.
Yeah, some good takes there on the receiver room. Looking at the defense, the face of the defense, obviously Aidan Hutchinson, great to see him recovered after he missed the end of the season last year. They definitely could have used him in that playoff game. I know we talked about that earlier. So to me, this is the face of the defense, the best player on the defense, another home run draft pick. I mean, I've said it many times, but just to build a team like this, you got to go dominate in the draft, and that's exactly what Detroit has done. Aidan Hutchinson, immediate star.
I mean, yeah, Detroit they've come out here, they've done their homework. They've done their homework in the draft. I mean, they've grown their team, they've built their team, and I mean, Aidan Hutchinson is just a really good example of that. Now it'll be his third season now out of Michigan, former first rounder. Aidan Hutchinson to me, when healthy, I mean, he's right up there with T.J. Watt, Joey Bosa. It's just one of the absolute best. I mean, he's a top tag. He's a top 4 or 5 defensive lineman in the league, and maybe even higher. And
Yeah.
just the fact that I mean, you really do feel like if Aidan Hutchinson had been playing in that playoff game, the results could have been a lot different.
Yeah, definitely you could say that about him, about a lot of the other defensive players they were missing. I mean, they certainly were not their top level, but yeah, just even like still, this defensive line, a very good defensive line, Alim McNeil, very solid fourth year player now out of North Carolina State, had back-to-back solid years. DJ Reader, of course, we know what he does out of Clemson. He's a seasoned veteran, always doing great at what he does. And Marcus Davenport out of Texas San Antonio. What's your take on him, and where would you rank him amongst road runners in the NFL?
Yeah, Marcus Davenport. Um, yeah, the probably one of the greatest players to ever come out of the University of Texas San Antonio. There, former first rounder. You could argue that he might be the greatest football player to ever come out of there, being a first round
Certainly.
pick out of that school. So he represents his school very well on the Detroit defensive line.
So yeah, a very well built defensive line, and they only bolstered it in the draft when they added Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State, their first round pick. So an already good unit gets even better. Um, Obviously the linebacker room also, you've had some solid draft picks there as well. Big surprise there. Jack Campbell out of Iowa had a great year last year. He led the team in tackles as a second year player, so only getting better there.
And yeah, Ted, I would personally like to ask you really quick, where do you rank Jack Campbell amongst some Iowa defensive players in the league?
Probably top five. I'd probably have to say top five starting in a unit like this. And also, we can't forget about the great leadership by Alex Anzalone. He also dealt with some injuries last year, and that certainly didn't help the defense as well. But getting him back is going to be very good. The seasoned veteran out of Florida. So
Yeah, I mean, we talk about all these talented pieces. I mean, we got so many talented pieces here on this defense. A lot of them, which we're missing, and a big one was Alex Anzalone. Yeah, he may not be the flashiest player on this defense, but he is certainly like one of their main glue player and one of their more big leaders on this defense, and they're going to need him for sure.
So yeah, they're getting him back. They're getting Derek Barnes back. He fourth year out of Purdue. He did not have a lot of chance to play last year. He missed several games with the injury. So can they get him back? Can he play at a high level? I think that's very interesting to see. So the linebacker room recovering from injuries, I think that's the big story. How do they look as they come back?
Yeah, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for me too. Yeah, I mean, can this defense stay healthy? I mean, they definitely dealt with like a lot of injuries and everything that you were mentioning. So the biggest question mark for me is like can they just stay healthy through everything? So um, I'm excited to see what they can do if they stay fully healthy.
Yes, definitely excited to see if they can stay healthy. That'd be nice to see. The secondary, they do have a very strong secondary, especially in the safety room. Brian Brandt's a very strong safety out of Alabama, now in his third year, the second round pick. So he constantly plays at a high level. He has had a great start to his career, and I think he's going to continue to be a high level player in the safety, of course, lining up next to Kirby Joseph out of Illinois. So I'll let you have a chance to give a take on Kirby Joseph now.
Yeah, Kirby Joseph, who definitely made some unfortunate mistakes in the past. You know, um, Definitely not condoning his past behaviors or anything like that. But aside from that, he is one of the more talented safeties in the league. And I mean, I'd probably have to rank him like right up there with like Antoine Winfield Jr., Kyle Hamilton, Jesse Bates, guys like that. I mean, this was the league leader in interceptions last year, so it's kind of hard to even say that he. I mean, you could even argue a case that he might even. You could argue a case that he could be the best safety in the league with some of those guys. It just depends on who you ask. So, yeah.
Yeah, that that is certainly an argument that could be made. I'd probably take guys like Hamilton, Winfield, Bates even over Joseph, but there's no denying the talent is there. There's no denying the results, the interceptions, obviously having the best PFF grade among safeties last year for a reason. high level player. So that's going to be interesting to see how he continues to go forward. Obviously the cornerback room fairly solid, led by DJ Reed, the veteran out of Kansas State. He has played at a very high level. And for me, a big question, probably the biggest question in the defense is what does the second cornerback spot look like? Right now, it looks as if they're planning to start second year cornerback out of Alabama, Terry and Arnold, and he was their first round draft pick a year ago. He had a bit of a rough opening stint, and the question is, can he grow? Can he live up to the expectations? Obviously, you expect high level play from Alabama defensive players, and I think that's something that we're going to see if he can grow into what they expect him to be.
Yeah, Terry and Arnold. Yeah, obviously a lot to develop and improve upon from last season. And I mean, he's got a really good chance, even in his second year in the NFL, to still win the Super Bowl. So can he learn from some of these guys around him?
Yeah, certainly learning there. The special teams room, they have a fairly solid special teams room. Jake Bates, obviously, their kicker, he had a lot of clutch moments last year in his first year in the NFL. Of course, he was originally in the UFL with the Michigan Panthers. So I think we're going to continue to see some solid success out of Jake Bates. Jack Fox, he'll handle the punting. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. He was the league leader in yards per punt last year, and he was a first team All Pro at his position. So yeah,
Hmm.
definitely worth noting. Jack Fox, number 3, the punter, and we won't be seeing too much of him on the field.
Yeah, probably not with everything we saw on the offense. Raymond punt returning, Khalil Dorsey the kick returner, a very interesting situation there. So we'll see how that goes. I think they're strong in the return room. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, the second year long snapper, out of the University of Idaho, one of their best players, is Hogan Hatton. He came on as a rookie out of Idaho, where at Idaho he played both as a linebacker and a long snapper. So he has some experience tackling, which came in useful. He actually was tied for the league lead in tackles by a long snapper last year. So definitely worthy to note there. He started as a rookie undrafted free agent, and he's just continuing to grow as a player. And this is the type of experience you need for a team that's looking to break through, a team that's looking to get to their first ever Super Bowl. You need a high level long snapper like Hogan Hatton. And the question is, can he continue to grow in his second year?
I mean, Hogan Hatton, he's gonna be a part of some big time kicks, I believe, this season. So
Yeah.
I mean, Detroit. I mean, a lot of we see Detroit's schedule. A lot of teams are gonna play them close. So
Mhm.
expect Hogan Hatton in some big time moments in the fourth quarter to be a part of some big time kicks.
Yeah, looking at Detroit as a team this season, I think they're once again going to have a very successful season. They do have a difficult schedule, in my opinion, and looking at that, I'd probably predict them to win anywhere from, I'll say, 11 to 15 wins, maybe more likely on the higher side, but just with the games that we see on their schedule, like at Baltimore, at Kansas City, Philadelphia, Washington, 2 against Minnesota, 2 against Green Bay. I mean, they could lose some games even if they play well, but I'd still say 11 to 15 wins.
I would say anywhere from 13 to 17 wins, and I know 17 is a high stretch, but if I were to pick any team to do that, they'd probably be my one team that I predict to do that. I think they have all that capability in the regular season for sure. So, um, but can you get past the big time, humps in the playoffs? We're gonna have to see that for sure.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad. Please continue to like, subscribe, and follow our content throughout the season. Thanks for watching.